Welcome back to the Countryside News. Well, I want to recognize a couple hunters who got their deer, and then we'll close out hunting season. We had David from Weyerhaeuser, Randy in Ireland, who got his just outside his door, really. Joe from Red Wing. Congratulations, everybody. You've heard me mention the FFA a couple times on previous episodes here. This stands for the Future Farmers of America. And this group started in 1928. Today there's over 600,000 members of this, and their alumni is very active as well. This is a program for kids in high school grades 9 through 12, and it focuses not only on the production agriculture, but on agribusiness. So this takes in things like nurseries, greenhouses, tree farms, and of course dairy, hogs, chickens, and so forth. The main focus, though, not just on the details of those businesses, but it teaches the students leadership, personal growth, and prepares them for career training if they go on into the vocational schools or onto the university systems. Their jackets are a corduroy, and it's a bright blue, and they have a really striking yellow emblem on the jacket. So if you see these kids running around, give them some encouragement. Well, many of us have already, or we will soon, be decorating our Christmas trees. Yours might be one that's cut. It might be a living one that you'll plant in the spring, or it could be an artificial one. Either way, a lot of us simply refer to them as a pine tree. But not all Christmas trees and not all evergreens are pine trees. The pine tree is a type of evergreen, also known as a conifer. These are the ones that don't lose their leaves in the fall time. Well, there's a number of pine trees, and a couple of the types that there are is the red pine, the sugar pine, loblolly, lodgepole, Virginia, and jack pine. Now you can tell a pine tree because its needles are very soft, and they're in clusters of 2, 3, or 5. Hemlocks are another type of evergreen, and there's only 4 types in the United States, so those would be easy to remember. You can look those up, I won't bore you with that. The hemlock needles are flat, and they're very soft. Firs, that's F-I-R, are also commonly used as a Christmas tree. And those types of firs are balsam, Fraser, noble, or Nordman. There's other varieties as well. These needles are attached by what looks like a tiny little suction cup. So that's an identifying factor there. A few of the spruces are also picked for holidays. We have the Colorado blue, known because of its striking color, the black spruce, white spruce, and the Norway. And there's a few others also, but these are the most popular. The spruce needles are a bit sharper to the touch. Well, the shapes of all the evergreen trees vary, so if you want to do some research, you'll pretty soon be able to identify a pine from a hemlock, from a fir, and so forth. Well, in Sweden, there's a spruce tree that grows over towards the Norway border, and this tree is called Old Tieko. Now, in case I'm not pronouncing that right, it's T-J-I-K-K-O. Old Tieko is roughly 9,550 years old. Now, the trunk itself is not that old. It's had many trunks over the years, but the root system on it is continually producing these trunks, and so it's the roots that are that old. Carbon dating has put the tree, the root system, back to prior to the first ice age. Well, that's pretty old. However, in the United States, in the state of Utah, we have a colony of trees that's even older. The Pando quaking aspen colony is over 80,000 years old. Now, these trees share one root system, and again, it's the root system that's that old that produces all these trees. If you want to read more on that, the spelling is P-A-N-D-O. the Pando quaking aspen colony. And those are deciduous trees, the ones that lose their leaves each year. Another topic related to big trees is the folklore story of Paul Bunyan and his blue ox named Babe. Now remember that in the early years, up until about the 1910s, logging was a big industry in the northern states. It brought in the railroads, it cleared the fields for the farming industry, it formed the backbone for many of our small towns and some of the larger cities even. Well, Paul Bunyan is some enjoyable reading for your children, so you want to check a book out from your local library on that. You won't be disappointed. Now on to all the news that isn't. Glendale will be holding its annual Fruitcake Fling, December the 28th. The entrance fee is $2 and the proceeds go to the Humane Society. Last year the number of contestants was pretty large and the referees made some decisions and changed some rules this year. They had a hard time identifying who the fruitcakes belonged to because they fell apart when they landed. This year your name should be written on a wrapper and the fruitcake should be enclosed in a plastic or even tin foil. And volunteers will be needed for cleanup this year. Well, snowbirds George and Vivian Markisam did not make it out of the state in their motorhome before the first snowflake fell. That's been something they've been trying to do every year. Vivian said she had told George to get underway a little earlier. George said he was hoping that Channel 4's newscaster, the weatherman, was getting more predictable. But that didn't happen this year. Well, as it stands, the Perkins family from the Boundary Waters canoe area won the contest down at the Sparkling Waters Resort in Arizona. The prize, which George and Vivian had been in contest for, was free rent on the lot for the whole winter. That's quite a big savings to the snowbirds. This was the Perkins' 6th straight year leaving home within 1 day of the snowfall. Good job, Perkins family. Well, strange contest, and here's one more. Birch Creek County is giving a $50 gift certificate to any of the town or the county snow drivers who get through the season without hitting a mailbox. Well, today's sponsor has been Vector Man's Hangout over there on North Ballard. If you're having any trouble reaching new levels in your game, Vector Man Hangout is where you want to go for some advice and gaming tips. Was there any messages to pass on today before I close out with our email address? I see there is. While that's coming in then, you can please send in all your news to 123 Countryside News at gmail.com. We even have one that came in the snail mail this week. That's good. To Sue in Slippery Falls. Please grab 2 more bags of salt before you get home from work. Sue in Slippery Falls. This has been sent in from Montana. And it's signed Grandpa Morgan. I don't want any more cheap snow shovels from you or Arlene this year. I want a heavy-duty, old-fashioned grain shovel, the kind I used to get at the feed mill. If you can't get me that one, don't get me one at all. Grandpa Morgan. P.S. You know who I'm talking to, Thomas Franklin. Well, I hope you heard that, Thomas. Grandpa wants a grain shovel. I wouldn't wait until Christmas to get it for him either. That's all the news for today. Thanks for listening to the Countryside News. See you next time.